What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So if you guys didn't watch the last video that we installed a radio full system, we installed a dual hanger along with the plumbing kit. Car has been running really good ever since then. We've been driving the car for a week now. I have no issue, no leaks whatsoever, and we are getting close to getting this car dyno very soon. So we still have a few more things that we need to button up. We still got to do the hop switch, EGR delete system, kind of check through the whole car. Got to make sure everything else is good to go, at least 99.9% before we bring the car to get it tuned. First things first, we need to go ahead and activate the second pump when we get the car running. He wants me to set the pressure, the fuel pressure at 43.5-ish, and then disconnect the second pump from there before tuning. So that's what he wants me to do. Let's go ahead and get that taken care of. So something is not triggering the second pump to come on. So this is the trigger wire from the relay to the second pump. I already got the power connected to the battery, but when you direct power from the trigger wire, that should activate the second pump. But I don't hear nothing. Nothing's happening. We're not getting pressure from the fuel pump. So I would have to pull the hanger out and see what went wrong. I don't know if it's connected right, which it should. I mean, I double check all my wires, and you can hear the relay clicking. So I would have to do more digging into the second pump, and hopefully it's just a simple fix. But I think I'm just gonna skip that for now. Let's go ahead and remove that EGR. We are gonna be doing a delete on the EGR system. Unfortunately, that STM tune and the other companies don't make the EGR block anymore due to the emission being super strict. So we're gonna have to make our own block off plate. EGR is out. The gasket is stuck on the intake manifold, so I'm just gonna leave it before I damage it. We're gonna go and drop this off to Mark. He's gonna make me a plate, and I do need some shorter bolts because these guys are way too long, especially that we're gonna be running a flat block off plate. If we can find this thread pitch and a little bit shorter, then we'll be good. The funny part is that these vacuum lines, assuming that these were not connected, because after I took out these two bolts, they just came right off and it wasn't really hanging. So I would have to look through all these vacuum lines that is sitting in there. We're gonna take out these lines as well. This is part of the EGR system. So we're gonna be blocking up those two nipples on the throttle body. I believe the other vacuum lines there, and that sensor right over there too. And there are a couple of plugs in the back of the intake manifold. They're all connected, which is part of it as well. So let's go ahead and get those out of the way. Alrighty guys, we got the EGR system all taken off from the engine. The EGR cylinder is just chilling. It's still sitting over there. I'm just gonna leave that for now. Here are the vacuum lines that we took out. We got the evap right there. Two skinny lines that goes to the throttle body. This line goes to the intake manifold. This guy right here, and those two right there that we blocked off. This two vacuum lines runs to the EGR. 3 of these vacuum lines that runs from the EGR solenoid, which is in the car. And this big long line runs to the OEM hard line that's right there that is blocked off to the canister. So I'm gonna leave the canister. I don't think it's gonna affect anything. So all we're waiting is to get the EGR block up plate, and we are done with our EGR delete system. Also, we got a new vacuum line that is to the fuel pressure regulator to the intake manifold. Kind of nice to see it like this area cleaned up a little bit. For sure, I want to get this engine harness right here cleaned up and tucked away. That's later down in the future. So my car is tuned on a stock ECU, and I believe that the whole EGR system and the rear O2 sensor was already basically just disabled. So I shouldn't have any check engine light. So remember how I said that the second pump was not clicking and we were hearing the relay clicking? Really rookie mistake for myself. So I ended up adding a fuse link because I don't have any extra wires. At least check and see if there's a fuse, because I missed that part. So I took off the cap and I was like, oh, missed the fuse. Put a fuse on. Now we have fuel pressure on the second pump, as you can see. Sick. If you're running the 3 terminals hop switch right here, this is a Snow Performance brand. So as you can see, column right there is gonna go run directly to the battery, and the other wire is connected to NO3, which is connected to our trigger wire. This is how we know our second pump turns on, when we put pressure on the vacuum system. So we got it at 8 psi. That's when we know our second pump comes on, as you can hear. We just got our custom EGR block up plate from my friend Mark. Huge shout out to you. This thing came absolutely really nice. He was really nice to make one for me. And now this will be our last piece to complete the EGR system delete. We can move forward to setting our fuel pressure where it needs to be at with 2 pumps running according to what Dom wants us to do, and then we can move forward to the other things we need to get done. So no matter what I do, having 2 pumps, I could not get the adjustment on the regulator down to 43.5 with the vacuum line off. It's like stuck at like the mid 60s. I released air out of the vacuum pump. I adjusted it back to 43 or 44 psi. We're probably just gonna have to leave it at that until when we bring the car to his shop and get it tuned and whatnot. He'll probably figure everything out. So the more things I find, the worse it gets. So we're about 4 tooth off on the balance shaft belt, and that is not a good thing. It's good because we caught it on time before the dyno. Now I need to find a balance shaft belt, and hopefully that the dealer has it in stock, and praying that they have it, because we're about 4 days away from dyno and it's not looking too good right now. And now I'm starting to get a little stressed out and a little bit pressure, but I'm just trying to keep it together, just keep moving forward, just knock out the other things that we need to take care of. So it's just one thing after another. It's okay, because at least now that we're catching all these problems that this car is having, and the last thing I want to worry about is something goes very bad on the dyno. So the main reason why I took all this out was because of this guy, the hydraulic tensioner. So I didn't properly have this set. So I had the pulley tensioner tightened to where it holds the belt in place. This hydro tensioner also plays in a factor too as well. I installed the hydraulic tensioner when the car was in Hawaii this way. It's supposed to be pressed down to where the hole has to line up with this hole. It wasn't like that, and I'm surprised that this car hold in place for that period of time. But I'm trying to make things right with this car as much as I can. Compress this back in place and put a grenade pin, which I don't have. I'm just gonna use the Allen screw. But what I'm gonna do with my method is to use the jack. I'm gonna let it sit on top, and I'm gonna compress it on the subframe, put the Allen in, and keep it in place. And just like that, we got attention. So moving on to the next part. We got ourselves a Kingley Racing H&L pressure regulator. I had this for maybe almost 2 years. Finally to get to install this bad boy. This one is gonna sit on top of the cylinder head. What it basically does is it reduces the oil flow into the head, so it keeps more of the oil in the pan. So let's go ahead and get this installed. Pop the valve cover. Also, I need to retorque ARP 2000s just to make sure that they're still within the spec. I might go a little bit more, but I guess we'll see. I got these resistor pack delete, and I had never run on my car for years. So we are gonna go ahead and remove the factory one and get this guy installed. I am so stoked that Mitsubishi here locally, the dealer in Las Vegas, carry this in stock. We got ourselves our balance shaft belt and the pulley, so I might as well replace both of them at the same time. You can get the brand new parts installed along with the valve cover gasket, along with the hop switch wires that we need to clean up a little bit, loom, whatsoever. And then we should be done with everything else before the big day comes. Huge shout out to Damien for getting the parts in. One of the least worry was that belt. But now we could continue on buttoning everything back up. guys, we got the car running, runs really good. The only thing now I realize is that when we installed the resistor delete, the car is running more rich, so the ARFR is showing it like at 9 and 10. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna throw back the old resistor pack on the car, so that way we can just run it the way it is, because it was tuned off from that. And then when we get to Dom Shop, then we can install the resistor pack delete, and then we can source all the tuning, everything from there. I don't even know how long we've been driving like this, and it's crazy. I think that's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, about 10 teeth on this belt was missing. Luckily that we got this taken care of, and this thing was about to go too. Oh, look at all this crack. About many hours, we got our wires all loomed up. 3 wires. These 2 wires right here is gonna go directly to the battery. This wire here is gonna plug into our hop switch, which is our trigger wire. And here is our fuse link wire. This side over here is gonna plug into the hop switch. This other side is gonna go plug into the battery. We need to install a fuse because I accidentally popped it. But as you can see, it looks really nice. And I love how I ended up looming these wires, make it look all nice, and it's gonna be tucked underneath, tied to the chassis wires, and then we can run this through the area where we need to get it routed, and we'll be done with our hub switch setup. And here we are, guys. We got the 3 wires, which is our power directly to the battery. So 2 of the power wire is going straight back to the relay. We got our fuse link, also runs to the battery, goes to the hop switch, and the second wire, which is the NO3 that's plugged in, that's our trigger wire that goes to the second pump. So when it sees 8 psi, the second pump will kick in. And I verify that just to make sure with the vacuum pump, that guy right over there. So we are pretty much good to go. I am gonna do a few more things, that's just like zip ties the holes, make sure they're not gonna come out. But I think this is how clean it is gonna get. And I'm honestly very happy how it comes out. I know there's so much wires going on over there, but I don't see any other way to make it a little bit clean, but other than doing a battery relocation in a trunk, which I really don't like. But I'm happy how everything else is turning out. But everything that we installed on the car, guys, I'll link it down in the description box below. I hope you guys are ready to see the outcome on my Evo and making good power. Like I said, anything 600 or under, I'll be very happy. Just remember, the car has the AGT 62mm turbo twin squirrel, and so it should make enough power to get it to the 600. And as long as we can keep the torque down below 400, because it's still a stock rods in there, we should be good. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. Aloha. I'll see you guys on the next one.